How you doing? It's L.A. Lloyd here. Today's our first time to have Volbeat to co-host the Rock Countdown. Welcome, and thanks for being on the show today, man.
Thank you.
One thing before we kind of talk about the Gigantour that I just saw on your website today is you guys are going to be playing at the Beale Street Music Festival in Memphis coming up on May 4th. Now, obviously the admiration of Elvis and Johnny and some of the other Sun Sessions guys. I mean, have you played Memphis before, or is this your first time kind of going there to play a cool festival in Memphis?
Yeah, that's going to be our first time playing in Memphis. You know, I've been to Memphis a couple of times.
Yeah.
Even got married at Graceland.
Did you really?
Yeah, almost 2 years ago. Yeah.
Very cool.
You know, Graceland has its own chapel backside of Graceland.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got married there, and me and my wife, and was celebrating on B.B. King's Blues Club at Beale Street. So, you know, we can't wait to get back, you know, memories and, you know, just hang out. You know, it's going to be great. And, of course, looking forward to the show, too.
Yeah,
you know?
Sure, man. 3 big days there. And I saw Jerry Lee Lewis is scheduled to perform there as well. So I don't know if he's on the same day you are, but
sure hope so.
I've seen him play once before, you know, and obviously he's showing his age, but man, this guy's still kicking the stool, and it's what Memphis is all about, right?
Yeah, I've seen Jerry Lee 3 times or something.
Really?
You know? Yeah. It's amazing.
Yes, he is. So now, have you ever toured, like, you've seen obviously the touristy stuff like Graceland, but how about the Sun Studios? I mean, have you ever had a chance to go and check that out?
Yeah, I even recorded it.
You did?
Yeah,
really?
I recorded a couple of songs.
Tell us about that. What was that like for you, being a big fan of that years and everything?
You know, I was just recording 2 songs with one of my friends. You know, it's just a memory, you know.
Yeah.
So you can say, you know, well, try that, you know. So that was a fun experience. But, you know, mostly it's, you know, just walking around in that studio and see, you know, they at the first what do you call it? They have a small museum there.
Yeah.
So just to see some of the equipment that's been used, and you know, going into the room where Elvis was recording, you know, they can actually point out that's the spot where he did his vocals, and the microphone is still there. You know, that's definitely some atmosphere going on there. That's some, you know, you can almost feel the spirit of Elvis there.
Yeah.
You know, it's great, you know, and a lot of great musicians has been there. You know, it's definitely inspiring.
When you look at the equipment, I mean, what they actually had to work with 50 years ago compared to, you know, all the toys you have today. I mean, do you think it's pretty amazing at the sound they actually did get with the limited stuff they had to work with back then? Definitely,
you know, and it's still, you know, it's a sound that's some kind of magic over it, you know. It's and still love to put on those records, and these days I don't, you know, it is somehow to keep the legendary names alive a little bit for the newcomers and the new generation, but I'm talking about a lot of the records are being remastered now.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. You know, sometimes it's interesting, you know, to hear it a little bit differently, but, you know, there's a reason why it was recorded the way they did it, you know, and that's the charm of it.
Are you one of these guys who really like to, you know, I hear so many different people go, you know, tape versus digital. I mean, have you ever recorded anything on tape, or you kind of stick with everything all digital these days?
Oh, yeah, you know, I had a band before, Volbeat, called Dominus, and we tried to record analog. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I tried that. You know, it takes some time, but, you know, there's definitely some difference in it.
Is it true you kind of get that, I mean, that more warmer feeling? You know, I always hear it's like, well, it's kind of a warmer feeling on tape. I mean, do you think that's true or no?
I definitely think there's something to it. That's definitely a difference, you know. Yeah. I haven't tried yet with Volbeat, but who knows? Maybe we're gonna do something else in the future, and just to compare, you know, how it is. But, you know, basically we don't use that much time in studio. You know, normally we will only use 3 weeks to record an album. You know, I even remember the first record was done. Was it 1.5 weeks or something? And the next one 2 weeks, and then the third one 3 weeks. Yeah. And the new one was also 3.5 weeks or something. So we always come, you know, very prepared into the studio, and we want to be able to bring the same thing live, when it comes to studio work. So, and we are definitely a live band.
Yeah, for sure. Well, back to Gigantour. We're actually catching up with Volbeat on the final night of the tour here in Austin, Texas. Lacuna Coil was on the show about 2 weeks ago. She was talking about not only what a great experience the tour was, but, the camaraderie between the bands and everything. So now that this one's almost over, is there anything that kind of stands out for you guys from any of the previous dates or maybe leading into tonight?
We've been having a good time, and, the response, reaction, and support from the audience has been amazing. We had a good run. It's been great fun for Volbeat to play those 45 minutes every night.
Yeah.
Sad thing was Lemmy got sick and lost his voice, so, they're not been here the last 3 or 4 shows.
Okay.
So we missed them, and it's sad for the fans that they can't see Motorhead. I'm a big Megadeth fan, so it's great to be on the road with those guys and,
sure.
See the shows. And Lacuna Coil is a great band too. And a couple of days ago, we had a great time hanging out with King Diamond.
Yeah, I heard about that from your tour manager.
Yeah, we're a huge fan of King Diamond and Merciful Fate.
He said he's not as creepy in person as you would expect him to be.
Who is?
A regular guy, right?
Who is? It's like
that's funny.
I know he's Danish, like we are.
Yeah.
And now we have Hank Sherman on guitar in Volbeat for this tour, and
right.
Everybody knows Hank Sherman from Merciful Fate,
sure.
and so he's been working with King. So it was great to hang out with King backstage, and he had a really good time.
And that first time meeting him then, huh?
No, I met him, 4 times or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, since this is the last night of Gigantour, I mean, are you planning on anything a little different, or is it pretty much, I know you got a 45-minute kind of limit there. Is anything different for the final night of the tour you might pull out tonight?
No, it took us some time during this tour to find the right set, and, we finally found it. So, I think we're going to stick to that.
Yeah.
And because it works, and, So let's see. I don't think we changed anything. There seems to be a really good flow in the set we have right now.
Fans seem to be happy with it.
Yeah, totally. And, sad again that Motorhead couldn't be here because, we were planning a good prank on those guys.
Oh, really?
But,
how do you prank Motorhead? Now, that would be a band I'd be kind of scared to prank, man.
Exactly. We were talking about, should we do this? Because they're gonna, they're masters of pranks,
Yeah.
So, but hopefully we have the opportunity another time.
That's pretty funny. Well, with the success you guys have had, and it seems like for a lot of folks here in the States, like, wow, where did Volbeat come from? And you guys been around for years, but you think with the success you've had, maybe there may be some other bands that you guys like in Denmark or from that region that maybe you've opened some doors for over here in the States as well, that may be doing just like you were, great in Europe, but still hadn't quite crossed over here to the States. I mean, is there any bands like that you think maybe that might happen for in the next year or so?
I think there's a lot of great bands, but they seem to, be doing the thing really, really good. I don't think they need us for anything. If we can go on tour with some of the guys and bands we really like in those different kind of bands, that would be great. And if that can help out something, it's great. But I think, a lot of the bands we listen to or discover, they are very talented. I don't think they need Volbeat.
Yeah.
Great if they're inspired,
Well, I saw an interview where, and again, we really, Americans are so blinded to stuff in Europe, and someone asked him, was there kind of a music scene in Copenhagen? It's like, there's a big music scene there. But so sometimes it kind of takes one to break out to kind of, like I said, open the doors. So I hope that happens for some of those other bands.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I saw this, speaking of this interview, there was one with John where he was talking about he didn't really see a big difference in the reaction from fans, compared to Europe and the U.S. But, one thing I kind of noticed when I go visit my sister in the UK is when I go to rock shows over there, it seems like there's more diversity, at least in the age. You may see 10-year-olds and you may see 60-year-olds. I mean, are you seeing that? And over here, it seems like when you go to some specific festivals, everyone's kind of about the same age. I mean, are you kind of seeing that difference in your audiences as well?
Well, when we have our own shows, then it's totally random, know, and then we're talking about kids being 10 years old and bringing the parents and so, that's definitely, people from 10 to 60 turning up and coming from different cultures and being fan of lot of different music. That's what we see when we have our own shows.
Yeah,
and that's beautiful, to see different generations and people who coming from different cultures, coming to the same show to see, the same band and sharing that thing. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's talk about the song "A Warrior's Call" a little bit before we play it today. I mean, it's been the most successful in the Rock Countdown so far. Was this, one of the first songs recorded for the album, or what can you tell us maybe about this one to kind of set it up a little bit today?
It was actually recorded before we entered the studio for, the new album.
Mm-hmm. Did you do that out on the road or somewhere else?
We had some shows in Denmark, and we invited Mikkel Kessler, the fighter.
Okay.
And he came backstage, and I'm a huge boxing fan, and we were just talking, and he was really into our music, and I said, you need a song to go into the ring with, because that's normally what fighters do. And I don't remember what song he had at that certain time, but he said, well, if you're in for it, then write me something.
Wow.
And I said, wow, I'm gonna do that. So I started working on that song, and so we just went into the Jacob Hansen studio just to record that song. And later on, when we were into the studio to record Beyond Hell Above Heaven, we included that song because it seems like the fans really liked it. So, but yeah, we also had Mikkel in the studio to scream fight in the song, and it worked out really good. Now he's walking into the ring with that song, and now it's a week ago it's we went #1 on the Billboard with that song over here. That was great. Really great. Not something that we saw coming. Get really surprised.
Well, it's a good pump-up song. I mean, no matter if you're going to see a show or if you're going to the gym to work out, I mean, it's a great song to kind of get you pumped up. So I totally get where you were going with that when you were writing it, for sure. Obviously you've got, like you said, pretty comfortable with the sound of the band. You've kind of found your niche there. But, outside of maybe, like we talked about, maybe sampling a little bit with tape or something like that, do you always kind of shoot for that same sound, or maybe the next album you might try something a little different now that you've been out here doing it again so much and so long?
Well, so far with Volbeat, we are only been into the Jacob Hansen studio. We like Jacob. We like the way he works. He knows our limitations. He knows what we are capable of, and he had really good ears, and he comes up with good ideas. And but we always manage somehow to come up with something we haven't done before when we are in the studio. And for each time we come to the studio, Jacob has also progressed as a producer. So I think you can definitely hear the progress for every album,
right?
And now we're in the writing process right now, and we talked to Jacob that we're probably gonna enter the studio in October, and we definitely have ideas for what we can do, and let's see if we if we just want to take Jacob somewhere else or whatever. We're definitely open for trying something maybe we haven't tried before, but Jacob would still be in the loop for that.
Are you very comfortable kind of with what you're doing now with your vocal range, or do you ever want to try to hit, maybe push it to a limit you haven't gone to before? Because obviously you still got to do it live every night once you record it.
I definitely feel that getting, for each record, my voice is getting better, and that's stuff that I haven't done before for each album, but I have my style, and I don't know what style that is. That's just the Volbeat style, and some like it and some don't, and that's what music's all about.
Absolutely.
When you have something special, there'll always be people said, I don't get it,
and that's good,
and others would say, wow, that's what I need. Then that's when you got something special.
Sure.
So but of course, I will always try to do something that I haven't tried out before. But I'm also very aware of that I need, as yes, you said, you know, it's important you can do it live, you know, and when you're touring that much as we do, you know, sometimes you have to be a little bit careful with the high notes, you know, because that's where, you know, you get a little bit harsh on the throat.
Wear and tear, for sure.
But, you know, it seemed to work out really good, you know, on this run, you know, I had no problems with anything. Everything's been good, and, you know, I've been sleeping well, and that's the medicine for everything.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. Was there, you know, a defining moment that you can kind of think of that maybe took Volbeat to the next level? I mean, was it radio airplay, or was it when Lars kind of jumped in and started creating an awareness about the band? I mean, was there one kind of monumental time you could say that, okay, we went from this to this because of this?
Just in general? Or?
Yeah, just in general, you know, from overall for the band.
You know, we were just very eager to get out to get some shows, some jobs, you know, to play live. And we started at small bars and, you know, playing for 50 people. And, you know, and now in Europe, you know, we play arenas. Sure. It's 12 to 16,000 people.
Nice.
And, you know, you can ask yourself, what the fuck happened?
How do we get here?
Yeah. Must have done something right, you know, and because, you know, when we started recording the first album, you know, it was, and people were already talking because we had a few demos out. Mm-hmm. And we really didn't, from the beginning, understand the whole buzz about it, because we didn't see any special or original in the music. We just had a good feeling that, wow, this is great fun. You know, we play straight from the heart. You know, we're not thinking about image. We're not thinking about one certain style. We just play. But for some people, you know, it was really special, and they said, we never heard that style before, and we were like, what style is that?
Yeah. Because
we didn't care about being 100% this or that. You know, that was not the whole point. It was just getting out, play some live music. Mm-hmm. So, you know, we could see, you know, with the second record, you know, it's just the buzz became bigger and bigger. You know, the shows became bigger and bigger, and suddenly, you know, it was like, wow, maybe people actually are telling the truth, you know, the truth that we actually have something. Yeah. So, you know, we start believing in, well, you know, maybe we do have something special here, but let's not change it, because, you know, as I said, we played straight from the heart. We were not afraid to blend country, punk, metal, blues, whatever, all combined in one song. You know, that was, you know, it looks scary on the paper, but live and for us it works out pretty good, and I think that's because of the honesty in the music.
Well, there's an old saying, I'm from the South, and they say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, you know, that's the way it goes, you know, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, when you're doing your jam sessions or recording or things like that, you know, before a sound check or whatever, has any of these jam sessions ever led to something you've recorded? Now, I know there was the cover song you guys did.
The first cover song we did was I Only Want to Be With You, which is an old Dusty Springfield song.
Okay.
And
not Samantha Fox, for those who are thinking of it.
Yeah, that's we got that all the time, and it's like, don't people know better than that, or they're just trying to piss me off? You know, wow, why are you doing a Samantha Fox song?
I know that either. So.
No, but you know, that was just for fun. It's a great song. Everybody knows it, but I always loved that song. Yeah. And John and I, you know, my drummer, we were just fooling around, and it was like, wow, this sounds pretty heavy. You know, it's let's do it. And you know, and we were about to play our first live show, and said, well, we have 10 songs, and 9 of the songs people don't know. So that's what we did, and we saw the reaction, and it was like, wow, you know, let's have that as a keeper. You know, so it's been a great challenge and fun for each album to, you know, have a cover song, also because it's a fun thing to do for a band when we are in the studio, to play something that's not totally your own, but make the song your own. You know,
right.
Put your own energy into it.
Absolutely. Well, cool. Well, thanks again, man. It's been a blast having you on here at the Rock Countdown for the very first time. I mean, is there anything else you'd like to throw out there to the fans today to push for the upcoming weeks, or anything to look forward to?
Just, we've been having a good time in America and Canada on this run. We have a great time on Gigantour, and hopefully, people have discovered a little bit more about Volbeat, and just want to say thank you so much for the support, and we'll be back.
Cool. Excellent. There it is, the Rock Countdown with Volbeat, and make sure you check them out, especially in Memphis at the Beale Street Music Fest. That's going to be a great one for sure.